What we do here is go back.
Hey everyone, Steve here. Today we're just doing a few little things in the shed again. We're going to drop the oil in the Camaro. Quick update on the hoist. I finally worked out the sealing a bit better, and also a bit of a ghetto hack here where the hoist actually goes up through a fake flue in the ceiling. It works, it's waterproof, so we're winning. So I'm going to drop the oil. This is the first time I've dropped the oil in this Camaro since I've had it. I haven't drove it much or anything like that. It's sort of been going through all the other little teething stuff and other crap that was wrong with it, like the coolant, yeah, all those like water pumps and all that stuff. So, and then got carried away painting the thing. But yeah, so we'll get it, drop the oil on that. It'll be interesting to see what that's in. I've got a new oil filter ready to go in, and new oil. Like this one, new oil. That one, and yeah, so I was gonna customize these air shocks for the rear end, but I think my diameter of the actual boot of the shock, like the solid part, is going to be a bit big. If you look up in here, see, I think that boot would literally sit on that, and that part would be rubbing up and down, so that would be constant. I can do a few more measurements here and there and make sure, but what I was going to have to do here is either put a nail bracket on here and sit it in like the normal way, but then it's going to hang down, and it doesn't move the same as like these do for the rear end, how it sways a little bit here and there. So I might have to weld. I've got some old shocks in there that I could cut a loop off and weld a loop onto them if I needed to, which I think will work pretty good. But yeah, it's just the clearance. I'm a bit worried about that clearance. I could probably space this out more, but then there's, yeah, we'll have a look at that. And this is the brake line I was talking about. So if you see this, it actually, they've put a block there, which is weird, but it's obviously not made to be this low. But yeah, so it's pinching the thing. So what I'm going to do, I'll undo this sway bar, and then I'll drop that down, and this will just come over the diff and down into here, and it won't be pinched anymore. So that's another thing that needs to be done today. And another thing is I wanted to try shorten these exhaust brackets a tiny bit, because if you can see here, this is sitting down on the hoist as it would on the ground, and there's not much room from the diff to the exhaust. So as you can see, it's been rubbing on the brake lines, which is not ideal. So what I'm going to do there is try to push it up a bit harder. There's a heat shield up there sort of thing, so I can go up higher. And that might give me a bit more clearance here anyway. As you can see here, that was literally coming up onto the hoist. But yeah, there is, eventually I'll have to do the rear main in it by the looks of it, but for now we're just gonna get some nice oil in it for now and see how we go. First up, just gonna drop the oil. Haven't got one of those little fancy oil catcher things, so this could be interesting. And then we'll place the filter and go from there. No, it doesn't sound good when she's crunchy as fuck. Yeah, so as you can see, she's black. That was expected. I don't know if this oil's been in it for the last 10 years, because this car sat for 10 years. Hopefully this filter comes off easy enough. That was stuck a bit. Oh, jeez. Loose it now. Okay, so now that's oil filter off. I'm gonna chuck drain the rest of that. I only put the bung back in because I was getting pissed off to get covered in shit. So I'll let that run out, and then I'll put the new filter in there. Then we'll move on to this brake pad now, brake line now. Yeah, so all I'm doing now is taking the brake pad, or brake line, freeing that up. So yeah, just freeing that up on the other side, so we no longer pinch it. The only downside of this is if I sort of jump in the car, which I'm not planning on, or if I drop the diff down without thinking about it, I might sort of get in the way. But it's like a really between bloody size. Shit. Yeah, so what I've done, because of the oil was pretty black, what I've done is I've just got some other oil here, and I sort of tipped that in now, and just let that run out into the thing underneath. I normally do it if the oil's pretty shit, and it just helps get some of the other shit out of it before you put any fresh stuff in. But yeah, so we're going to do that. And then I'll put the filter back in, chuck the oil back in, we'll start her up, and yeah, I've done brake line at the back, so that's no longer pinching anymore. Okay, so that's service done, new filter in, no leaks, gave it a little bit of a clean up. And then over here, so what I've done here now with the brake line, I've gone under instead of between. I just got to remember when I jack it up that the diff will fall and pull on the brake line a bit. There's a bit of slag there for a while before it bites up, but cool. Didn't get the exhaust pipe, didn't feel like getting the welder out today, because what I've got to do is actually cut it here, lift it, and then just re-weld it again, but I'll get to that. And yeah, so that's that part. And then also what I've been doing today, I didn't film it, but the shed's now opened up a lot more. A little bit of clearance off there. Didn't really want to move this shelf, but might have to. But yeah, so pretty awesome to finally get this hoist working properly and be able to walk under it nicely. So that's a win for me today anyways. Thanks for watching. That's it for today. Nothing special, just knocking off a few little jobs here and there in the shed. I want to get a good go into the Vauxhall, so I'm sort of just knocking off these little things. I think I might do the gearbox on the Dodge first before the Vauxhall and just get that sorted. So it might go back up on the hoist after I made all those musical cars and everything like that. So it might go back up on the hoist now that I've done the roof. And yeah, go from there. But all fun and games, and thank you, and I'll catch you on the next one. Cheers.